Hi everyone, Coach Amaka here. I want to remind us about some of the things that we already know. So I am only doing a gentle reminder here. A gentle reminder that you are not thriving because you're stuck, you're stagnated, you joined the wrong crowd, you signed up for the wrong assignment, you signed up to the wrong cycle, or rather circle, you joined the wrong company. And when I say company, I mean both people and process and system. So that's why you're not doing well. That's why you're stuck. And perhaps you're still struggling with that past trauma that you need to recover from. It might have been a person that you got exposed to, that you got to experience. It might have been a toxic, dysfunctional situationship, relationship, job, business, ventures. It, yes, might have been a sudden realization of something that has kept you really bound and stuck and trapped and disassociated or discomforted or um, depressed, devastated. Trust me, there are many things that we can heal from. There are many things that we are meant to heal from. There are many times that we lie to ourselves and we deceive ourselves, and most of the time we overwork ourselves just to keep our minds busy and get ourselves continued to be distracted from the things that we needed to focus on. And some of those things that we need to focus on might be or have been addressing the core issues that bother us. The core issues, the traumas, the dilemma, the setbacks, the mental stagnation, the emotional baggage, the psychological trauma, the physical setbacks, the medical illnesses that might have eventually been provoked by the emotional unwellness, illness, psychological illness, and traumas. When you don't heal from your traumas emotionally and psychologically, the trauma will find its way into your body and into your organs, and it would initiate a medical situation for you. That's what happens. When you sign the wrong contract, when you got yourself stuck on the wrong jobs, the wrong businesses, the wrong associations, the wrong relationships, or you have been through a huge loss, financial loss, loss to someone that you loved, loss of marriage, loss of a situation, loss of hope, or loss of a desired outcome, that can make you ill. Usually, the illness begins emotionally and psychologically. Soon enough, when not addressed, when not taken care of, when not sorted, when not resolved, it then graduates and gravitates into your health. And when it gets into your health, it becomes medical problems. And when you're going through your medical situation, oh, doctor said this, you have to do this test, you have to do other tests, you have to do other ultrasound scanning, this and that and the other, all because now you're medically ill. It might also be, it possibly might be the unresolved emotional trauma, unresolved psychological trauma and psychological baggage and illnesses that you should have addressed. When you don't address them, you don't resolve them, then they're going to gravitate into your health medically. And when they get into the medical pattern, it becomes difficult for you, because the truth is, when you're medically unwell, it affects your emotions, it affects your physical coordination, it affects your energy, your vitality. Everything starts going to shrink and going down. To not get to that level, Honey Pie kindly address your emotional illnesses, your unresolved traumas, your undiscussed and unaddressed setbacks. Why not address that? Why do you want to cover up and coax and cover up and coax? You aren't doing yourself any good. You're going to get ill medically. And when you get ill medically, it's going to affect your mental coordination. You are going to feel devastated. You're going to feel unmotivated. You're going to be depressed. You are going to have low physical energy and vitality to move and groove and do your daily business or your daily activity and your enjoyable activities, which might or might not be occasional activities, which may also be like something that you do maybe every weekend or every other weekend or something of that nature. You wouldn't even want to hang out with your friends. You wouldn't want to do social activities because, hey, you're very ill. You don't have the energy for it. You cannot stay, like you cannot stand through it, right? So when you find yourself stuck, unmotivated, depressed, delusioned, I don't know, all kinds of negative energies, honey, you may have signed the wrong deal. You may have got on the wrong job. You may have got off the wrong bus stop, the wrong station. You might have signed up for the wrong deals, like friendships, businesses, jobs, whatever it is that you have to heal from, that you have to address, that you have to probably critically analyze and find your way out of that situation. Because the more you continue on that journey, it's not going to be better for you. You're going to be sicker for it. You're going to go down for it. You're going to lose a lot of things for it. You lose yourself, you lose your friends, you lose your money, you lose your motivation, you lose your energy. You start vibrating at your lowest of lowest. So let's address that stagnation for you. Let's address that unwellness for you. Let's address that emotional trauma for you. Let's think about how we can walk you back up from your low vibrations. Let's think about how we can strategically pull you out of that bad situation. Let's think about how you can dream and be all that you can be, all that you want to be, happily, wholesomely, and really thriving. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your wellness. Let's talk about your wholeness. Let's talk about your transformation. Let's talk about your healing. Let's talk about your recovery. And let's talk about your happiness. Let's not pretend to be happy. Let's be actually happy. Let's not pretend that we're doing okay. Let's not believe or think that over time, that time will heal all the wounds. Time may not heal all the wounds. Not every wound do time heal. Don't give yourself to time. Take the chance. Make it a priority. Make it all about you. Heal from that unresolved trauma. Address that stagnation. Overcome that regression. Progress from it. Alchemize that problem. Make that problem a catalyst for your progress. Convert your pain into progress. Find the meaning inside of the pain. Find yourself after having been lost in a bad relationship, in a bad hope, in a dead-end relationship, a dead-end situationship, in a dead-end job, a dead-end business? Did you lose somebody who is dearest to you, a loved one, your child, your spouse, a parent, a sibling, a friend? And has that held you bound? Had that held you set back, set behind, depressed, devastated, confused, uncertain, broken, shattered? Is that your situation? Is that what you need addressed? Let's address that. Let's address that. Did you experience a traumatic event? Someone died around you? You experienced a natural disaster? You experienced someone struggling, or a fatal accident, incident, and you want to address that? Is that the cause of your trauma? Is that the causation, or is that a trigger? Is that a trigger, or is that a causation? Let's talk about it. Let's address that. Personalize your healing. Prioritize your recovery. Personalize your healing. Prioritize your recovery. There aren't things that there aren't anything yet that you could not recover from if you make it a priority. When you don't recover emotionally and mentally and psychologically, you're going to become ill medically. Your health is going to take a low turn for it. And guess what? That is not when you're going to recover emotionally, because then you're going to be focused on the medical elements of your life, your health. And when you're medically ill, you cannot be emotionally well or strong or whole, and you cannot be psychologically whole. So you need to heal your emotions and your psyches to be able to be medically whole. When you're emotionally healed, psychologically whole, you can never be medically ill. And even when you have a little medical situation, it gets taken care of immediately because you're emotionally whole, you're psychologically whole. You can never be medically down when you are mentally and emotionally solid. So you have to find your solid ground emotionally, psychologically, and mentally. That way, your medical situation will be kept at base. You know why? Because you're going to be strong, you're going to be healed, you're going to be whole, you're going to be fully maybe alchemized. Because, I mean, if you have to heal from emotional trauma, psychological trauma, mental trauma, you're going to alchemize. You're going to be transformed. You're going to be a different person. You're going to be a happier version. You're going to be a more confident person. You're going to now know how to address your setbacks without actually putting them off or putting them away or shoving them away or pretending they don't exist. You will stop pretending and actually live your whole life and your wholesome, well-deserving, well-alchemized self and life. I think you should want that for yourself. And I believe that our programs can help you. Why not check out some of our programs? Send us inquiry, follow our YouTube channel, which is our awareness network, awareness campaign, emotional support clinic. Find me also on your Google search, Coach Amaka, for more. And remember, share this message to everyone that you know. You may be saving a soul. You may be addressing someone's shame and guilt and misfortune and setback and trauma. You may be the reason. You may be bringing them inspiration and hope that they can heal from the trauma and they can be whole again and happy and satisfied and wholesome and alchemized. You may be the one who starts them on that journey of healing and recovery. And if you're needing that healing and recovery, please prioritize it, because you're going to thank your star that you did. Peace and love. Follow for more. Coach Amaka.